Good morning, everybody. I am Carrie Miller. I am the Manitowoc County Youth Apprenticeship Coordinator. And today we're going to talk a little bit about youth apprenticeship and the opportunities that exist in Manitowoc County for you. So first, talking a little bit about what is youth apprenticeship. So it's an opportunity for students to apply during their sophomore and junior year of high school to do the program for their junior and senior year. Opportunity for part of your day you spend on a workplace, working with a workplace mentor and applying things that you've learned in the classroom to the real world setting. The program can be either a 1-year or a 2-year program. So if it's a 2-year program, you could do it for junior and senior year. Something that's really nice is sometimes we have our juniors do one program and they determine that's not the program for them or the career choice for them. So then they're able to switch to a different area for their senior year and have 2 different opportunities. As far as requirements of the program, a 1-year program, students need to work a minimum of 450 hours. That is going to average to about 13 to 15 hours per week. That most of our students do actually start right away after the school year is out in June and work throughout the summer. And we can apply 200 of those hours from the summertime. And release time is going to be before school. So either you'll work in the morning and then go to school, or you will go to school and then go to work. And a 2-year program is just double the hours at 900 hours. I will say that the 1-year, the 2-year, that youth apprenticeship in itself is a 1-year commitment. So even if you decide halfway through a semester, you know, this is not something you're going to pursue after high school, there still is a lot of opportunities and learning that can take place with that. So we do ask for a full school year commitment from our students. As far as curriculum that goes along with it, students take what we call related instruction. So that happens while they're in the youth apprenticeship program and consists of, for a 1-year program, it's 1 high school credit or 2 classes or 3 college credits. And for a 2-year, it would be 4 high school classes or 2 high school credits and 6 college credits. So students typically take most of the courses at their high school. We have great CTE programming and students are able to take the courses there a lot of times for dual credit, or they perhaps will go out to LTC to take a course, or even perhaps an online course as well. Students are evaluated, so you do receive credit for this. So you're evaluated on your attendance, critical thinking, initiative, teamwork, workplace standards. So again, those basic employability skills that we want in anybody that is not only in the program, but anybody employers hire. Students do receive feedback on a quarterly basis. So your employer will evaluate you on those employability skills I mentioned, but also there is a checklist you need to complete as well through the state. And that is going to be more job specific skills. We do also connect on a regular basis with you at school with your coordinators. So I coordinate for Valders, Mishicot, Reedsville, and Roncalli schools. Julie Knotts is the contact for Manitowoc Lutheran High School. Bonnie Prziniak is the contact for Lincoln High School in the School to Work office. And then Lisa Klein is the contact for Two Rivers High School. So why youth apprenticeship? So one of the things is earning while you learn. While the wage should not be the sole purpose for doing youth apprenticeship, nor should getting out of school for part of your day, the real goal is the learning that can take place. You have an opportunity to try out a career, see if it's something you would like. But again, the wage is an added bonus. Right now, the average wage in Manitowoc County is between $12 and $13 per hour. That doesn't mean it's a guarantee you'll have that. It could be less and it could be more as well. That's just the current average of all the programs. Students have an opportunity to earn industry credentials, so such as OSHA 10, nursing assistant, the A+1 under that IT program area. Ongoing and personalized support. So again, as the coordinators, we meet with you on a regular basis, check in, how are things going? How is your instruction going? Are you liking what you're doing? What are you planning to do after high school? So we continue to have those conversations throughout the year to make sure everything is going well. Reducing college debt. A lot of our students have some pretty cool opportunities. You'll see one bridging from the youth apprenticeship to registered apprenticeship. That is where a student in the manufacturing and construction trades area, they can apply all of their youth apprenticeship hours worked towards a registered apprenticeship. That's a huge jump start for students. A student who does a 2-year manufacturing machining youth apprenticeship typically jumps into a second year of a registered apprenticeship. So that means you're going to finish at least a year, if not 2 earlier than the typical person that jumps in. And develop a career network. It's really important that when given the opportunities, you will be meeting a lot of professional people in the industry that you are interested in pursuing after high school. So for scholarship recommendations, college recommends, you are developing that. And you never know, someday down the road when you will meet that person again. So that is an important piece as well. So right now, I am going to ask one of our students, Alexis Fisher, to join us and talk a little bit about her experience. Alexis joined us this fall, so she didn't go through our traditional process. However, she is working in manufacturing at WST Fab. So I will have Alexis to kind of talk about her typical day and what she's doing. So go ahead, Alexis.
Okay. Hi, my name is Alexis. I go to Lincoln. I'm in 12th grade. I am a machinist at WST Fab in Rockwood right now. What we do there, we work a lot with lathes and CNC and verticals, which is working with parts and working with customers and getting them what they need. Um, I really like it there. There's a lot of precision measuring and math involved, and lots of programming and setting up the machines. And you have to learn a whole lot. And I really like it. I get to do something different every single day. After this, I get to be an adult apprentice, so I can learn a lot more, and I get the opportunity to have free college as well, which is really fun. Um, hmm. There's really no, I'd say there's really no disadvantages to doing youth apprentice. You get to have a lot of experience, and it takes a lot of stress off of school as well. Um, and after I'm done with youth apprenticeship, I'm probably going to continue working at WST. They're really awesome, super kind people, really helpful, and I've learned a lot of things. And yeah.
Great, thanks, Alexis. Is there anything you would tell the students listening today, deciding if they wanted to pursue a youth apprenticeship or not? Any words of advice that you would have for them?
I would say definitely do it. It's definitely a learning experience, and you get to get a head start in, like, they'd, for example, like if you were to go for a different job, you'd be hired before anyone else because you'll already have that 1 or 2 years of experience, and it's just it and you get free college out of it. Some offer free college, and I definitely think it's worth it. And I definitely think people should take youth apprenticeship if they have the ability to.
Great, thank you. And when Alexis refers to free college, the registered apprenticeship program is mostly on the job training. So once every other week, she'll go to school, she'll get paid to be at school, and they will pay for her schooling as well. So it's a really great opportunity to walk away without debt and to jump into a career that you really like. So thank you.
Yep.
All right, now I want to go over some of the different program areas that we offer. We do have some new programs this year, which are really exciting. This is our agriculture program. So large and small animals, agriculture mechanics, plants and crops, water resources, greenhouse and floral, and then landscaping and arborist. For architecture and construction, we have carpentry, electrical, HVAC, plumbing, masonry, architectural drafting, and then 2 new programs, utilities technician and gas distribution technician. So for those individuals that are thinking they'd like to do the lineman program, for example, at NWTC. We also have a arts, AV, and technology program in the graphic design, pre-press, and post-press operator. In the information technology area, we have IT essentials or IT help desk, network and security, software applications, and broadband technician. So one thing I will mention about all the areas that I do mention, some of them are much larger, have many more opportunities than others. Our largest program area is manufacturing currently. Our second largest is healthcare, and our third largest is construction. Some areas, such as engineering and electrical, will be what we consider more competitive areas. So typically we have more students apply than we do have placements. So when we talk about that application process, it'll be important for students to put their time and effort and energy in education, because that is your first step forward with those employers. It is never a guarantee that you will receive a placement in the program. So filling out an application does not mean you'll have be placed with a job. That is something, that is never a guarantee. That's based on your application and your interview process. Our next program is hospitality and tourism. We have food and beverage. So for somebody that's interested in being in the culinary area, meetings and events and lodging. Our next area is finance. So banking, doing a bank teller role, member services representative role, insurance, and then the accounting field. Then we have marketing. So looking at marketing communications, professional sales, management, and merchandising. So this could be anything from a real estate office to an insurance agency office, to working with a school if you want to be in education. We don't have an education program, so we do run them through marketing. And it could also be doing traditional marketing. For example, Parker Hannafin has 2 students in the marketing area working in their human resource office, working with social media marketing. Health science. So this is, again, our second largest program area that we do offer. So the opportunities are resident aide, dietary aide, certified nursing assistant, pharmacy technician, dental technician, medical office, and a new program area in phlebotomist. So those are some different opportunities. A really good starting point for students is either in that dietary aide or that resident aide position, if they're not sure if they're ready yet to become that CNA. Our students who look into the CNA, we do put them in a class over the summer, so they do get a industry-based certification and become a certified nursing assistant. So next, I would like to introduce our second student with us, and that would be Ellie Casper. So Ellie is currently a junior at Reedsville High School, and she is working at Shady Lane as a CNA. So I'm going to have her talk a little bit about her typical day and how she enjoys her apprenticeship. So Ellie?
Yeah, my typical day at work is getting the residents up, toileting them, getting them dressed and ready for breakfast. They do have requested or designated shower days. So when we get them up, we get them in the shower. And then if a nurse or a doctor requests that we get their weight, we usually do that before breakfast. And then after breakfast, we have to reposition the residents. So that means either putting them back in bed or into their recliner. And then after all of that is done, I do my charting, and that's pretty much what my morning looks like.
Can you talk a little bit about your career goals, Ellie, and how what you're doing as a CNA is going to help you get to that end career goal?
Yeah, so when I finish high school, I would like to go to college to become a nurse. And being a CNA has really helped me learn firsthand what the experiences of working in healthcare looks like. Um, I definitely love spending time with the residents, and I know that healthcare is the perfect fit for me. So,
Great. And any advantages, disadvantages that you see? You mentioned a few advantages Any disadvantages to the youth apprenticeship program?
For me, the only disadvantage is balancing work, school, and sports. I do 3 sports a year, so it's pretty busy. But other than that, I mean, if you have good time management skills and study habits, you'll be okay.
Great, thank you, Ellie. So definitely one of the things that Ellie had mentioned, while her goal is not to forever be a CNA, it is teaching her the bottom line care. So if you want to be in healthcare, I always tell students you need to plan on every other weekend, every other holiday. That's a really important part. I know Ellie would attest to that as well. And making sure you have that ability to be flexible with the schedules. So all of our healthcare employers, whether it be the hospital or whether it would be our long-term care facilities, are requiring students every other weekend, every other holiday. So that is something that does continue if you plan to be in healthcare, whether you want to be a doctor or a respiratory therapist. So really important part of that. Our next program, as I said, is our largest, and that is manufacturing. So the program areas students can do in manufacturing include assembly and packaging, industrial maintenance, electromechanical, which is a new program this year. So that's more into the automation and robotics sector of manufacturing, machining, production and processes, and then welding. Next program is STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So typically most of our students in this area are placed in a mechanical design in a manufacturing setting. We do also have biosciences, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, which is where most of our placements are, and then engineering drafting. And our last program that we offer is transportation, distribution, and logistics. So this includes diesel technician, auto technician, auto body repair, supply chain, and a new program area of aviation. So what makes you a good candidate for the youth apprenticeship program? First and foremost is you want to have an identified career goal. So maybe you want to go into healthcare, or maybe you want to do something in manufacturing. You may not be 100% sure to know exactly what that is, but this is meant to get to help you get a foot in the door, to try something out. You may think going into healthcare, you want to be a nurse, and you may walk away saying, nope, healthcare is not for me. And that is just as important. Finding out what you want to do is what you don't want to do. So it is really important that you come in knowing this is a school year commitment. So if you start in June, the commitment is all the way through the end of that next school year. And again, even if you don't continue on that path, you are still learning a lot. Just those basic employability skills and making those connections that you will take with you no matter what you end up doing after high school. Having a willingness to learn. So coming in with a good attitude every day, giving it 110%. Again, even if you decide, hey, not for me, you're still giving it your all. Okay. So showing up on time, being ready, being there, taking that feedback. So you are not expected to walk through the door and know what you want to do. That is part of the program, is to help you get to that point. So making sure that you can learn from your experiences, take the feedback, make those changes as needed. A positive attitude, I mentioned, a positive attendance record. So it is a correlation. If you're on time and at school every day, the same thing will happen with the workplace. So our employers do deal with regular employees that don't always come to work every day. And that is a struggle. So with our students, we want to make sure you have that good attendance record because that'll carry through to work as well. That you are on track for graduation. We do not have a GPA requirement for the program. I am a firm believer that a student with a 2.0 can do just as and be as successful as somebody with a 4.0. But it is really important. First and foremost is graduation. So you do need to be on track to graduate on time. And then reliable transportation. So even if you are just turning 16, maybe you don't have a license yet, we need to make sure you have that reliable transportation to get to and from work. whether that be your own vehicle and your license, whether that be a parent, grandparent. Again, reliable transportation. Program areas such as construction, you will never be at the same place every day for the majority of your time. You'll be going to different job sites. Every employer is going to be different. Some may work at a particular job site for 2 months and then change. So you have to, again, have that reliable transportation to go where you are needed. And if you're ready to become part of the youth apprenticeship, here is kind of what is next and what you do. So the first thing is to complete an application. You can go on to yawisconsin.org and complete the application. And I'll show you in just a few minutes what that looks like. But that application is going to have your student information. It's going to ask you for your counselor's name, for 2 different teachers that we can send recommendations to. It's also going to ask you if you are able to upload a transcript through the student management system at your school. That is greatly appreciated. If not, we will make sure you get one. Employers want to see first how you are as a student, but most importantly, are you a student who has taken welding classes if you're applying for that welding program, for example. So making those connections is really important. The next step is interviews and placements. So we are for sure going to have the last week in April will be one day, and the second day will probably be that first week of May. But what we do is we connect and set up all our employers that are interested in taking students, and we bring you to those employers. So you might interview, like Ellie, for example, last year, she would have interviewed probably with 6 or 7 different employers and was selected by Shady Lane to be their employee in the youth apprenticeship program. There are also students who come in, and whether you already have a job and you're already working and you are interested in staying on with that employer, we can talk about, is that a youth apprenticeship? What does that look like? Or maybe mom and dad or aunt or uncle, somebody has a connection to a company, and you can have those conversations with that company and their owners, and then come back and say, hey, I talked to XYZ company and they would like to take me on in the apprenticeship. There is a place in the application where it does ask you if you have a job, and you would put yes or no. And then it'll ask you if you have confirmed a youth apprenticeship placement. And if you put yes, you would put that individual's company name, information, email, and then we would work on working with them to get that set up. The application does also ask you for your commitments. So that is an important piece. Ellie, being a 3-sport athlete, for example, she has to juggle work, school, and her athletics as well. So, but her employer also wanted to know that she was involved in those. So Ellie works in the morning, goes to school, and then we'll do volleyball, for example, after school. So we do have a lot of our students that are involved in activities, trap shooting, clubs, or involved in athletics. And that is great. We want that. So, but know that it is a little bit more of that time management piece that'll be really extremely important for those students as well. And then step 3, I can't say this enough, is communicate along the way. So it's really important that if you have questions, talking to your coordinator at your school, sending me an email, that would be really important. So checking your email, making sure you're giving us an email, not your school email that you never look at. Give us your personal email that you look at all the time. So we do communicate a lot through emails, so that is important as well. All right, so I am actually just going to quick jump on and jump on to our website just to show you what that looks like and where you would find that application. So give me just a second to share my screen here. All right, so this is the website you would go to, and it is yawisconsin.org. This is our homepage that'll come up. There's some great information on here. There is employer information and a drop down. There is information for students. If you have questions, frequently asked questions. Parents, there's some parent information, the different program areas. If you are a student coming on, 2 ways to apply. There is a box right here, so you can click here to apply. The nice thing is once you finish your application, You can also now edit your application. So if you go to the initial email you will receive once your application is completed and you want to modify something, on the bottom of that email, it says edit application and you're able to do so. You can also see right down here on the bottom left, it says apply here. That is another way to get to that application. And then once I click here to apply, this is what the actual application is going to look like. So you will see it gives you some information on the program. The student information section is going to ask for your information, your high school, your address, and then it is going to talk about parent guardian information as well. Application part A is going to be, here are the different program areas. So let's say I am interested in manufacturing and I'm also interested in construction. I would go down here, construction, I'm interested in electric, and manufacturing, I want to be machining. And then application part B is going to be answering the question, what are your career goals and how will a youth apprenticeship help you achieve them? So we definitely want more than just a sentence here. You're going to want to make sure that you put enough information in there for the employer to know what your career goal is and how doing YA is going to help. Any work experiences paid or volunteer, put those in here. And then you'll also see prior upcoming commitments by fall, winter, spring, and summer. So if you know that July 1st through the 15th, you'll be on a family vacation, this next summer, you would want to put that in there as well. There is also a section for a resume and cover letter. So these are all optional. There's also a letter of recommendation, which is optional as well. If you have a letter of recommendation, I would recommend putting that on. However, it is not necessary to go to your teachers and ask for a specific letter. Now, in some of our more competitive areas, I would highly recommend that you take the time and put in the effort to do that resume and cover letter as well. Teacher and counselor information. So this is going to be 2 different educators. You need to give us at least one, but we will then send an email to those teachers with a link for them to fill out a recommendation for you, which we then will attach to your application. This is where if you have access to upload your transcript, you would do that right here. And then the last part is your counselor name and counselor email, so that if we do not, if you don't have the ability to upload that transcript, we will connect with your counselor to get that from them. And then the last section of the application is just reading through the terms of enrollment and making sure you're understanding the commitment that you are looking at. You would sign, and then you can review your application and submit it. You are able to save the application and come back in as well. But again, the application overall will probably take you anywhere from 10, 15 minutes at the most. The applications are due the first priority deadline. And when I say the first priority deadline, that means typically there are programs, again, I talked about being more competitive. We typically don't take applications after that first priority deadline. February 16th is going to be the deadline for applications. So again, February 16th is that priority deadline for applications. So make sure you get your application in before then. And as always, we place students all year long. So I get contacted by employers all the time. So if for some reason, you don't meet that February 16th deadline, you're more than welcome to apply after. It's just not a guarantee that you'll be into that initial process of interviewing that we set up with those employers. So I just want to thank everybody today for coming and learning a little bit more about youth apprenticeship. I'm always available to answer questions. We also have a Facebook page. So if you go on Facebook and look Manitowoc County Youth Apprenticeship up, I typically put updates and information on there as well. At the yawisconsin.org, we're always putting information on there. So it's a great resource to go, especially if you have questions. Chances are those are going to be answered in the FAQ section of the website. So I would like to thank Ellie and Alexis for coming today and sharing their experience with you. And I appreciate all your time. So I'd love to see an application come through from you, and have a good rest of the week. Thank you.